my fellow traders. Good to have you here. You know me, that's why you're here. I'm John Zidar. Here's a new face, somebody you haven't seen before, and it's been a long time since I've seen him. This is Jay. He goes by the name of BTC Jay over at our Penny Boys, Bitcoin Jay, right? Is that what
Yeah,
it's for?
correct. That's what it's for.
So Jay's going to be doing our charting for us today, and I got to tell you, I'm excited about that. Not that I know anything about Jay's charting, but that's the whole point. Everybody charts differently, and you can learn a lot about charting because charting is really where all the answers are. The news is important, the filings are important, but if the chart isn't right, most of the catalysts haven't got a chance. So we're always trying to read the charts. And especially if you're playing short plays, you need to know when to get out and get in. Both of them are just as important. So I see we've already got a few comments here. At least I will see when I get my eyeballs back in. We've got some early birds here. I have thrown up those stocks and already got your money's worth. I've been able to get some early DD in on you folks. And just in case, not that I'm expecting it, but if we have extra time, I got a few things I can share with you. Things are happening out there. So let's jump right on into this. Remember, we are just doing what you might call superficial due diligence. We haven't got time for a deep dive. So don't let my due diligence be the end of yours. This is just, maybe I see something you don't. In saying that, if you're bringing us stocks that you hold and you're down on and you think I'm going to find a light at the end of the tunnel, chances are if you haven't found it, I'm not going to find one either. I prefer you bring us some hot stocks. The more people you get interested, the more of us are trading it. We can all make money on it. There's a new concept, right? All right, let's jump on into this. I've got this all set up. Let me see. The first one we have set up here, get in there, is Fubo. Fubo came from Samuel. Samuel was here early. Oh my God. I forgot I didn't even get my link out today. Oh, I was playing the market and forgot to put it out on 48 Facebook pages. Wonder if we're going to have a light audience today. Well, Samuel had his in somewhere around 11 o'clock this morning. He wants to look at Fubo TV. We've looked at Fubo TV before. Fubo TV finished today at $3.04. She was up just a little over 13%. You've got a penny stock on the major exchange. Penny stocks in the major exchanges have a lot of advantages over the OTC penny stocks. One, you're getting some serious monitoring up there. People are watching the company. They got criteria they've got to constantly be meeting. Two, they're free to trade. You got to love that. And three, you can trade in pre-market and aftermarket. Can't do that with the OTC. Yeah, you'll see some pre-market aftermarket trading. It ain't us that's doing it. It's brokers and marketers. So we're missing out there. So let's take a look at the general information, and then we'll hone in on the stuff that I found that is catalytic. We are looking at the relative volume. She's normally doing 17.5 million shares over the last 30 days. She jumped today, 10 million up to 27 million. Share structure for the company. We can't trust a float down here. I would trust more of the unrestricted shares here. Take the outstanding shares, 292 million. Subtract the restricted shares, which sometimes they'll tell you. These are the shares owned by the insiders, management, hedge funds. And then subtract the two and you get your float. Well, we got nothing here, but we know it's no higher than 292 million. Whew, thank God for that. Financials for Fubo. Yes, we'll figure out what they do here in just a second. I just want to get this stuff out of the way so we don't miss any of it. Strong revenues for a penny stock. She's got over $1 billion at the end of 2022. And look at the leaps and bounds there. From 2019 to 2022. That's millions. We've got 3 zeros we got to put behind any of the numbers here. 4 million, 217, 638, 1 billion. That is some huge growth. Now they are running at a loss here, but at least they're generating revenues. It's harder to get your financials fixed if you're not at least generating revenues. Taking a look at her quarterly real quick. Yeah, she's doing over 300 million every quarter here recently. Quick look at her balance sheet. In the bank, they've got $337 million. We got to add those 3 zeros here too. Total assets, $1.2 billion. Total liabilities, $860 million. Strong assets over liabilities. Revenues are strong. Disclosures, anything jumping over here? 144 S8. This is normally about shares. We're not going to get anything out of that one. Maybe that S8 will throw a number up at the top. Dun, 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 dun. No, nothing in my face. All right. So I did find some information. It was in one of these forms, and I'm going to go backwards here. It just seemed to make more sense. What does this company do? The company is focusing on the proprietary tech stack to build an intuitive, personalized TV experience for consumers. You know what Amazon has got going on with their Alexis? You know, you got your music and you can create all these different ways to entertain yourself with music. Well, that's what they're trying to do with TV. They're really trying to make it more AI intuitive. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're bringing AI into it. And I see here they have gotten involved with sports, which is what the comment here says. Fubo, best place to watch football, 8 games at once. That's an addict for you. Our recently launched Instant Highlights beta, which we tested during the NBA playoffs, is the first example of new Fubo products leveraging our AI technology. We're taking those learnings and applying them to broader release plan for this fall for football season. So somebody knows what they're talking about here. And then coming back up here, starting from the worst aspect of their financials, net loss, they are continuing to run at a $54 million loss. Things are getting better, but they were running backwards there. Revenues have increased 41% year over year, quarterly, jumping from 222 million up to 312 million, which is a 45% increase year over year for North America's business. And advertising revenue grew by 5%, which is really what they say that they're into. A lot of their stuff is all about advertising. And let's see here. The momentum in our business continued in the second quarter with Fubo posting results that exceeded guidance, including 23% year-over-year growth in subscriberships and 41% year-over-year revenue growth in North America. The results for the quarter also marked a healthy year-over-year improvement in cash usage, ending the quarter with 200 and call it 300 million in cash. So everything looks really, really good here. The float, we don't know what that is. 290 is the worst. I don't really see anything bad here. They've got gains. They're still a penny stock. You may want to consider that at this rate, they could leave penny stock bill here soon. Revenues are growing. Everything looks good to me. I'm going to turn this on over to Jay and let's get entertained by some new charting.
Nice. Let me go ahead and share my chart here. Let me
now I got to bring you up, don't I? Because I have you invited. Yes. Well, look at you bounce around. Someone's bouncing. there you go. There you go. You do have control. It's funny yeah. Go for it, brother.
Can you all hear me well?
Yes.
Thanks for having me here. So the first ticker that we're taking a look at here is Fubo, right? I'm on my trading view. Mm-hmm. I start this off on a monthly time frame because I want to have some general idea of what is the history of this thing. I've never really looked at it. I'm looking here on a monthly time frame, and there's one thing straight off the bat that kind of catches my attention. If I just go to this particular monthly candlestick, so I'm just zooming in on this, right? If I hover over that, just purely technicals, I see that the open of this month is right here, 238. And that's also the low of this month. So we basically had nothing else than up only from this month. That's what's called a flat body candle. So that's essentially a candle without a wick at the bottom here. Typically, like the way that I would personally play this, if this was to be whatever that I'm looking at, I would wait for price to get below this monthly open level, because at that point, all of this would turn into a wick and you get your red candlestick and then you get your impulsive move down. Now, we don't have to come there, but this is definitely something to keep on your mind, in my opinion. A candle like that on the monthly time frame or on whatever time frame with no wick on the bottom, at some point you're likely to come back there and to create some kind of some move down. So I'm going to just mark out that level 238. That is the monthly open. Maybe we come back there and we actually hold it, right? So we could go below 238. Once it gets back above 238, the monthly open here, that might be that's definitely a level of interest here. So I'm just going to check here on the monthly time frame in a bigger picture here, okay, where are we and what are we doing? So we're actually making lower highs and lower lows, right? So I don't want to be too enthusiastic about something if there's no huge reason. So I have,
Now, Jay, when you say you're on a monthly, what
yeah,
time frame does each bar on your chart represent? A
well,
month?
yeah. So if I'm on the monthly time frame, and every single candlestick that you see here represents 1 month of trading activity.
Okay.
So on
Right.
trading view, just going on the monthly, that allows me to, with not too many candlesticks, I get an overview of what this has done from 2015 all the way up until now. So I see lots
Yeah.
of volatility, but in the bigger picture, what kind of stands out to me is that we have a downtrend, right? So we have some highs here,
Yeah.
some a weird low here. Also, we've broken that $3 support level from 2019. So, like these levels, if I'm on the monthly, I can quickly see, okay, in 2018 and 2019, there was a level here that was support, $3.30. That was the low there. So what could become resistance now is $3.30, right? We're below it. So I would like to see some acceptance for this above $3.30. I would not personally buy this long. If I'm not engaged, I'm not going to buy here because I'm assuming that previous support from 2018, 2019, that can turn into a resistance. So if I go long here, where do I cover? Where do I get out of the position? I would rather see us get some kind of acceptance above 330. And what do I mean with that? Well, maybe a daily candlestick close above 330 would be a nice kind of ignition for maybe getting back into this previous price block here. So I want to see 330 broken and preferably with a daily time frame close above that. Now, if this thing goes really like if there kicks in a lot of volume, you may decide, for example, okay, let's take a 4 hour candle close above 330. But personally, I would be waiting for that level to be broken, to be honest. I think you would rather be a little bit too late than too early because in the
Right.
bigger picture, there's for sure there's upside gain potential. And so just as the last thing I'll say on this chart, I would be looking in the long term, like if this is gonna go up, I would be looking at this exact area from $15.01 to $11.89 right here. Why? Because that is a monthly fair value gap created by these three monthly candlesticks. So you have a monthly candlestick here, December 21, January 22, February 22, the bottom end of December 21 to the top end of February 22. This area right here that marks a fair value gap, basically an inefficient dump, right? So that is an area where we could be moving back to in some kind of future, and there I would be expecting a lot of resistance. So from here, I want to see acceptance above $3.30, kind of getting back above what was previously support. That's kind of how I would see this on a monthly time frame. Now we can always take a look at kind of like the lower time frames and just
Yeah.
remove.
Being day traders, we definitely need to look at the long view. You got to know if you're going uphill or downhill, but regardless of which way it's going, there's always going to be bounces that you're going to be able to take advantage of. So, what are we looking at for, say, the next week?
Well, next week I see two possibilities here, so I'm gonna let price come to me. To the upside, I have $3.30. That's key resistance. That was resistance earlier this year as well. You can kind of see this, right? Wicking, getting above it a little bit, wicking, but no acceptance above $3.30. So I want to get above that. Otherwise, I might just wait and check out if they come and retest the monthly open here at $2.38. That's how I would be playing this. I would see $3.30 to the upside, get above that, then play the continuation, or maybe we reject again, and then $2.38. That's an area where I would be looking for some kind of volatility back up.
And on like a 5 minute chart?
Let's see on a 5 minute chart how this has looked today.
Now, are
So on
you
a,
using just regular candles?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm just using some regular candles here. So on a 5 minute time frame, let's see what we have here. We have a high that was made today at $3.07, right? Post market $3.05. Oh, what was the high here? Sorry, $3.08. Maybe tomorrow, if we can bust above $3.08 and can turn that into support straight off the bat. So maybe look for something like this tomorrow, where we take out that high at $3.08. I wouldn't buy the first run above here, but then see if that current resistance can turn into support, and then maybe play the upside from that $3.08 to $3.30 back to that monthly time frame resistance there. That should be like from there to that 330. That's about a 7% move. This is typically how I would kind of approach it. I wouldn't buy here against resistance, but
yeah, I'd wait for it to break out over that too and test it. As you said, not the initial breakthrough. Wait to see if it's actually made up its mind to move.
Yeah. So if I'm going to place just a circle here, I just want to point this. This is kind of where I would be looking to get in, right? So what we're saying.
I agree. All right, that's enough information for Fubo. She does look good, though. You know, there's a lot of companies out there, the penny stock bill, that aren't worth our time. Fubo, when you see a company bringing in $1 billion, yeah, that's one to take seriously. All right, we're going to move on to the next one here. This comes from, who gave me this? The Underdog. As a matter of fact, I am sorry, I didn't mean to tease you there, Underdog, but I actually got one from Velmore, which surprisingly, we haven't seen her drop in. If you guys come here all the time, you know Velmore's here all the time, and she always brings us interesting stocks. She didn't fail today either. This stock was in the news, I believe, today. I posted news about it, I believe. CBIA, Cannabis Biopharma, finished today at 0031. We got ourselves a sub penny stock here. Just, oh, look at that. She's moving right in front of us. She was at about 7%. She just dropped down to under 5%. On the pink tier, the danger tier on the OTC, folks. We don't get a lot of information that's validated down here. Verified profiles, validated information. We would also like to see, oh, there it is, verified transfer agent. We want those. If you don't see those, worry a little bit. If you're in it for a day trade, it really isn't going to matter if you get out. But if you get stuck in one that doesn't have verified information, don't be surprised if they end up on the expert market. This is a shell risk, meaning they're not making any money right now, but they're in business. They've got something going on, but they're not making money. That's not a good sign. Stock promotion. I hate that they put this in red. There's a lot of positive stock promotions out there. Companies that are promoting themselves because they don't have news, but they want you to know who they are. But these do get out of hand, a lot of exaggeration, lies even. So they put up a thing here and warn you. There's a lot of promotion going on right now. So that's up there. Now, it seems to me, I remember hearing right there, they're in the midst of closing this deal with Blue Heaven Coffee. Now, they say that they are involved with advertising, and Blue Heaven Coffee is involved with vending machines. Now, the vending machines we see here are like the older ones, and I say that because they're just sodas, candy. Well, the vending machines are now working out and spreading out, and these are theirs, but they're going to smart AI vending machines, touchless, and they're going to have advertising with these big screens that are going to know from who you are, because, I mean, they can see you, so they know what you've been at. They can now start sending you advertisement like they do online. I'm sorry to tell you, advertising is going to follow you wherever you go. And they're going to have beverages, candies, sandwiches. They are trying to get kitchens hooked up to their vending machines, from what I read, so you can have these little quick meals that are going to be in there. I didn't see anything anywhere but Canada. They've got lots of them, though. They're in lots and lots of different cities. Let me see. They got another piece of news here. I knew I saw another one. This came out September 7th. The company announces PepsiCo distributor partnership beverage agreement. Basically, they get all Pepsi products now in their vending machines, which is Pepsi, Gatorade, Mountain Dew, Lipton, Starbucks, Cold Brew, and Bubbly. So all those products. So they've got to deal with. So, this is what I look at. If a company is making deals with companies we know, or companies that have lots of revenue, that's good. That means this company isn't a scam company. Pepsi isn't going to get with a scam company. They've vetted it. So what sort of information can we get about the company? Well, let's see. Volume today was incredible, jumping from 6.7 million up to 78 million. You're looking at over 1,000% increase. Share structure for the company, just under 1 billion shares in the outstanding share count, 810 million. If they actually own 568 million, meaning the insiders, we get 241 in the float. Quarter billion shares. We've seen worse, but that ain't good. CBIA, their financials. Well, now that's something you can't overlook. Look, when any of these companies down here on the bank start to make revenues, it's a big deal. Now, why do they say shell risk if they've got revenues here in May of this year, $273,000, not 273. They are making money. So hopefully the revenues are continuing here, right? We see they've got business. Where's all the revenues been all this time? But Blue Heaven Coffee, they're just getting with them now. Whatever it is they were doing before, I don't think they were doing it. Blue Heaven is their revenues, and it's taking a while for this deal to close, but it looks like the revenues are somehow swung over here. Just a guess. Don't quote me on that. Let's take a look at the disclosures. See what we got over here. 817. That was a month ago. Oh, this is more shares, right? Yeah, I hate jumping into those. That's not the one I actually wanted to look at. We've got an investment here. Mango Innovation just bought 67 million shares. They now own just about 10% of the company. So somebody else sees value in the company right now as well. I do believe that covers everything there. So let's take a look at the chart for CBIA. Yeah, CBIA.
There we go. Oh, there we go. There we go.
My bad.
No
I'm a control freak.
Let's take a look at this here. Like, yeah, I've got the volume in. It seems like there's an enormous amount of interest here that entered today. I've marked out.
That's what was missing last time. I know you don't use your SMAs, but there was something else I wanted. Volume. Now I feel like I have a balanced chart. I was floating before.
You're right. That was my bad. Volume is very, very important. It kind of already started here back in August, right? On the 16th, you already saw higher than average volume, right? Making kind of that low. So we had this low here at, 0.005, and then a volume increase making this high, came back down, made kind of nice higher low. And now we have a higher high. So to me, maybe let's draw a trend line here off of these lows, right? There's no real candle that closed below this. I've marked out this area from July, right? This is a little volume imbalance, right? If you just, the way that this moves, this chart is like cheese with holes in it, but it makes sense to look at those holes because this volume imbalance, if you look at it, where did price reject from here in the beginning of September? It wicked above, closed below, closed below. Now we went back above and we are retesting that. So ideally, right, there's a couple of options here, but I would want to see this thing push back above 33 cents, maybe let's say above 35 to be a little bit safer. So I want to see this thing here come back out at the top end. So we have this little area between 30 and 33. I want to see maybe tomorrow, right, that we can close back above 33 cents here, that we can get back above. Because if we don't do something like this, then we're going to fall into this hole. And there is quite some room with this to fall back down, maybe to test the trend line, right? There's just like I drawn out that volume imbalance right there between 30 and 33. I also want to draw two levels of support, basically right here and right here. So those are going to be the levels that I'm working with here. I think if we get below 30 and we close below 30, then there's a very good chance that you simply go back to 20. If 20 doesn't hold, which I don't know if it will because you already have some wicks here. So buyers were already present at 20 cents. Will they be present again? Maybe. But if we drop below 20, then I think 13 cents could be something, right? No guarantees, but this is definitely an area where I think a lot of people are going to think that it's over, but it would still be okay here following this uptrend. I do think that if you break below this line here and turn 13 cents into support, that you're looking at new lows. And then I just would, if you turn this here into resistance, you get below this trend, it's over, right? You can maybe look to buy that low again. 5 cents might hold its support. Maybe you get some kind of volatility right here. Right. So,
by the time that happens, we'll have gone through 10 different stocks. We'll have forgotten about it. We're all short-sighted here. Most of us are trading on a 7-day basis. And in 7 days, whatever we looked at last week, It's cold this week. These penny stocks move really quick and they don't hold their gains. That's been the problem with these.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the market, actually, the volume keeps dropping. Did you hear, Jay, that all the markets right now are down to 17% volume compared to our normal volume pre-COVID?
I've not heard that, but that does not really surprise me. Myself, I play a lot of crypto, and it's definitely the case there where
Oh,
there's
yeah.
been long times of like very subsiding volume, Bitcoin moving in a 5,000 range for the better part of the year. There is really a lot of stagnation here. But like to come back to CBIA, I like it if it can get back above 33 cents. You can maybe get some.
So we'll look for breaking out over 33 would be a good point to consider this.
Let's maybe say 34 to be safe. Let's say that. Let's
Safe
say that.
is good.
Let's say we break this above 34 and we aim for 40 and then we go from there. But if you get below 30, then yeah, 20 and 13 cents is the best I can give you here in terms of support.
Best you can give you folks. All right, we're going to move on to number 3 now. Thank you, Jay. Insightful. I mean, Jay's got a whole different type of charting than I do, that Taylor does, that Lily does, that Pookie does. That's what I love about seeing different people chart. They're looking at it from different views, and I can learn a lot from it. So we're going to jump on over here to Underdogs GLG. Let's see. Let's start over on this page here. This is TD Holdings on the NASDAQ. She is at 17 cents. Something I haven't done here. Whenever you see a price under $1 on a major exchange stock, the stock is in danger zone. They have a minimum bid price requirement up there. They can't go under $1 and stay under $1 for too long. If they do, they can be kicked off of the major exchange down to the OTC. They get a warning, they get time to fix it. But if they fail, bye-bye. And we've had a lot of those since COVID, a ton of them. Well, we're down to 17 cents. Now the chart used to be 6 months. You could just look at the chart and you could tell. Well, I have seen many people getting threats at 30 days. 30 days they've been under $1. NASDAQ is saying you better get it right in 6 months or else. And they got to be over $1, close over $1 for 10 consecutive days to get out of hot water. Once they do that, it's all good. They get under $1 again, start the process all over again. So we're at 17.5 cents roughly. She was up just a little over 4% today. Volume bumped from about 6.5 to 8.6 million. That's good. Share structure for the company, all they tell us is the outstanding. We got 184 million. Float won't be any higher than that. Could be considerably less. GLG's financials, those are good. Okay, we did have a dip here in the last year. It was some solid growth going on there for 3 years, right through COVID. And then she dropped about $50 million in 2022. Let's see what we're looking at on the quarterly. Oh, she had a big drop there at the end of 2022 and is actually starting to recover, but she is running at a loss right now. Looking at her balance sheet on the annual, yes, $893,000 in the bank, 363 million in assets, and only 63 million in liabilities. You don't hear only in millions too often, do you? Disclosures. See what we got here. 10Q. Now, did I pull up anything over here? The news? No. Let's see if there was anything over here in those filings then. 10Q just came out. You get lots of information. If you really are interested in the company, just dive into one of those. Take your time. They headline each section. It's not all numbers. There's lots of paragraphs explaining their deals, where they came from, what they want to do. There's a lot of junk in there too, disclaimers, if you will. We had an 8K here. It might be of interest. This is material change. An agreement for a securities purchase. All right, not exactly something we're jumping into now. So the news. All right, we had a couple pieces of news here in August. The company entered into a $165 million procurement agency agreement. That's a pretty big deal. And the company signs a deal to develop an energy storage battery project in Southeast Asia. This is just all recent news, pretty big news. Now, just so we have an idea here, what is it exactly this company does? TD Holdings, Inc. is a service provider currently engaging in the commodities trading business and a supply chain service business in China. It's a Chinese company. You always got to keep that in mind. Whenever things change between America and China, or China and the world for that matter, it could affect the market and the stocks could just disappear or something. Their commodities trading business primarily involves purchasing non-ferrous metal products from upstream metal and mineral suppliers and then selling it to downstream customers. So it looks like they're doing business. Did we look at their financials? We did. Yeah. So they look like they're doing business. The big thing here was, and you need to jump over here and you can click this more button. Now there's other pages you can go to. Absolutely. If you've got a favorite page to check out filings, go to it. See, I just lost my filings. Yeah, if you got a page, just go over there and you'll have to go through each 8K. Now you could try a Google search. You could put in the company and put in NASDAQ compliance. Put in NASDAQ compliance in the company name if you don't have a favorite FINRA page. So that pretty much covers it here. Outside of that, I'm sure the chart can give us a little bit of insight if she's been under a buck for too long. What does that chart look like for us, Jay?
Let's see. Let me pull up the chart here at the stage. I went to my Webull here because it seems like this is the correct price, right? It's a little bit above 17 cents right now. 17.
I like that chart.
Right?
Yeah.
I was looking at it while I was listening. Let's just I do have some EMAs on this chart. I use the 20 and the 50 EMA here just on a 1 hour time frame. You can kind of see that price is getting rejected by the 20 EMA on the 1 hour constantly. We're not really getting any acceptance above that. Well, if we do break that, I think we have continuation to the 50 EMA, which would be almost 20 cents there, 19.6. So ideally, we could maybe, and I have some pre-market data in this too, but maybe get a break above the 20 EMA, which is currently 1766. Now, it's very dangerous, right? Because if you just buy the break above that 20 EMA, the chances are that you get trapped in some kind of wick. So ideally, I would want to see a candle close on the 1 hour above this 20 EMA and then continuation to 19.6. If we really get things going here, then I have a couple of levels here, 25, 29, and then 35, 36, which this candle, I don't know what that is. That happened during regular trading hours. I've not seen that very often. That is very substantial here. When did that happen? 29.8. There's yeah.
So what day? It could be we've been having a lot of reverse splits. And when a reverse split happens, they then alter the chart. Instead of seeing a big jump, they go in relative, the whole bloody chart. So your high from the past has been multiplied by the split.
Okay.
That's just a guess. What day is that, Jay?
Sorry?
What day is that big bottom out there?
That's the 29th. Let's see. That big red candle is the 29th of August.
All right. Let me see if I can see something while you're looking at the chart.
Yeah.
Oh, you can keep going. I'll do my digging in the background.
So for anybody watching this here, if you have this on your chart on your Webull, I would kind of use this trend line, right? Low, high, lower high, more lower highs here. And we have that 20 EMA on the 1 hour. That is really key resistance, right? Closing above that, then target the next EMA, which to me is the 50 EMA. Once we get above that, things really drastically change because we haven't traded above this EMA in forever. So I would be careful with it, right? If we break this wedge here to the downside and we lose this uptrend structure, but you can't really call it an uptrend. It's just a big downtrend overall. I'll be very, very careful with this because, I think also probably a misconception is people think it's already down so much it can't go well. It can still go 90% down from here. So you really want to
believe, Jay, the reason for that downfall, and you get this on the OTC market, was a public offering.
Oh,
the public offering was all it took. They put 28 million more shares on the market, and penny stock traders are just sick and tired of having their share value stolen over and over again. We have reverse splits happening every week, public offerings every week. We are just being diluted all the time. That's how we react to it. We just exit and find somebody that treats us better.
I feel that definitely something with potential, right? You never really know when something is going to squeeze. I would I would look for a break, let's say above 17.7, 0.177. That could be good, but again, I would personally like to see a 1 hour candle close above my 1 hour 20 EMA. That's how I would approach it. If this structure here breaks with these higher lows, then you're looking at new lows, and nobody can really tell you how low that's gonna go. So yeah, to me, 20 EMA on the 1 hour key resistance, break that, get to the 50 EMA, take your profit. If we can get above the 50 EMA on the 1 hour, then I think there is upside potential to 25, 29, and 35 cents possible. But is it likely? I can't say so. Right?
Fair enough. We don't want to pass out false hope, especially in
Maybe
this market.
Maybe the last thing that I'll say, just because you were mentioning volume, looks like we have some kind of like we're not really getting anywhere with volume. Like it's declining here, price is going down. So we want to see a good, solid volume spike. Ideally, more volume than that we've seen on these
Yeah,
regular trading sessions the past. Because now, look, it's all the same. It's very systematic bot buying and selling,
no
and
excitement.
there's nothing that's like, okay, this is going to get it going. So you want to keep an eye on that volume like you mentioned earlier.
And as I mentioned, if the price isn't moving fast, which how long has it been under $1, Jay?
Let's see, let's go to the daily time frame here. Oh wow. So well, oh my god, that is epic. And that is epic money grab there. That is, hey,
That
this
is no wonder nobody wants in. Oh my
man,
God.
that
We
looks
set
like
a new
the
low on that drop.
oh my god, this is all-time low territory. Yeah, this is, oh wow, it
So
gets back.
to the question, I know we got put into shock there. How long has she been under $1?
Let's see, for a couple of days here, for when is what was this here? Oh, well, we went above $1 and then we went back below it since the 29th, but before that, realistically below $1, we've been below $1 since basically since the end of March, from what I can see. So $1 is here. Yeah, end of March. So March 29th, March 30th. That's when
Yeah.
that dollar mark broke. And see that this is really, really, really bad news for this chart and for this company, right? Support at $1, and then that resistance at $1 and new lows. I don't really suspect that this is going to be. Yeah, this looks kind
Don't
of dead.
hold back. Tell us what you think. This is a piece of right now. I
And
get you.
and with convincing volume here on the down move, like look at the volume, like compared to all that previous. Like we have to go back to somewhere in March 2022 to get some kind of reasonable volume, and then absolutely nothing,
It
or at
was
least
just an emergency exit. Everybody running out of a burning building.
yeah, yeah. This is problem.
That's
Let's
sad.
with
So
with
really,
that.
folks, I see that things don't look bad from my side, the information, but looking at the chart, I would wait until you see some sort of recovery, and that looks like a long ways away. Not to mention, she's been under $1 since March. She is in hot water. If she isn't, she's going to be, and it doesn't look like she's going to get over $1 for 10 straight days anytime soon. So I
Mhm.
wouldn't consider getting into this. That would be a dangerous move, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with it.
All right, we're going to move on to a new company here. This comes from Daniel. Daniel's been keeping up. This is, are we there? No. Let me pop on over. I want to make sure we get, I'm looking for it. Oh, where'd my picture go? I'm trying to get me up. My picture won't come up. All right, folks, let me reinstitute here. I've got to grab it. I don't know why it didn't want to come up, but I will bring it up. Well, it doesn't want to do it that way. So I'm going to have to do it this way and blind you. All right. Can you see there? No. Oh, boy. Well, folks, we got a problem here because it has just blocked out my entire screen. I'm over on Microsoft. Let me get this out of your face there, folks. All right, so let me see what I got to do here. I got OTC market here. Can you see that? No, you're not bringing it up. Well, technical
Like
difficulties.
this? Would this work?
Let me see here. Now, there, okay, you can see that. All right, I'm going to have to start this over here. We were looking at what ticker were we going for him? Liquor. All right, I had everything set up on another screen, folks, but now I'm over here. I'm just going to have to roll with the punches. All right, what I remember is Liquor just came on the market. They just IPO'd August 10th. August 10th, they came on the market at $5, jumped to a high of $7 if memory serves, and took a big drop. And I think she was like at 64 cents or something like that the last time I looked. $1.20 right now, just a little over 10% gains. Let's take a look at her relative volume. Well, nice increase today, going from 2.7 million to 6.4 million. You're looking at almost 300% increase. Share structure, right from the get-go, they got a low share structure here. Outstanding share count is only 9 million. Anything under 10 million is a legitimate low float. When people say a low float, that's what they're talking about. Well, it's under 9 million. So we've got a legitimate low float. Low floats, well, think about this. If there's 9 million shares and they sell 100 million shares in a day, they got to sell all those shares 10 times in one day. That becomes a supply and demand issue. That's when you get the prices moving up. Taking a look at the financials for Liquor. Well, they just got here. Well, okay, we got something on the books. 2021, 315,000. 2022, 601,000. Quarterly, 150,000 just came in that last quarter. Disclosures. I don't know if we have anything current over here. We do. 8K. Does this have to do with that news that just came out? Authorized share buyback. No, that's new. See, I had no idea about this. Press release announcing an authorized share buyback program of $2 million of the company's common stock. Well, come on, folks. The stock is going for $1. They're going to buy 2 million of them. There's only 9 million shares in there. So now you're down to 7 million. See, they're giving us shareholder value. That's the sort of company I like right there. And they're not on the pink, they're on the NASDAQ where they got to be held to stuff they say. That's why I like the major exchanges. Was there anything else here? Form 3s tell us who owns what. Form 4s, if somebody's investing, hey, look at this. Form 4s, whenever the insiders, the management, buy or sell, actually acquire or dispose shares of the company's stock. They can get them in a lot of ways, but they can buy them and sell them. That's what we're looking for. Well, it tells you right here who it is. This is Sean Dollinger. He's the chief executive officer. He knows something we don't. That's why he's buying probably. And he just bought, well, on 2 different days here. Nope, same day. On August 23rd, he bought 80,000 and 6.4 thousand for these two prices. And total, he's got a little over 2 million shares. So you've got an insider buy happening too. That shows confidence, maybe even knows something. Then I remember there was news. Let me see here. What I can show you, I remember I'd already looked, is give you an idea. This company is working with liquor and wine. They've got this tequila. They've got a wine. They've got a distribution agreement that they've just made with CW Spirits, which has opened up a lot of doors for them. They've got lots of different channels through e-commerce online, 7 brick and mortar buildings here in the United States. They are importing their tequila with CW's license. They are exporting their products with CW's license, and they're working with volume discounts with businesses. So this one deal with CW has opened up a lot of doors for them, and they just came on the market at $5, and we're now, like I said, it was down to under $1. Obviously, it's come up almost double that since then. Is there anything else we need to know about this company? Nope, I think that's about it. Let's take a look at that chart and see if she's starting to put any pretty on.
Let me pull that chart up here.
Yeah, where did I go? I'm so lost right now. I don't know where I'm at on my screen. There we go. Thanks. Jeez.
So LQR, I'm on Webull here again with the volume and with everything. I checked the daily time frame. To me, it looks like right? 1.269. That was the top end of this little volume imbalance here when we started trading. When was that? It was yesterday's session. So yesterday's session, we open here 120, 1.269. We go down and get some resilience, and we're back above our EMAs. But today, what really happened is we turned that into resistance for now. I'm interested in this, and I'm going to play this myself, and I'm making my notes here. This is very, very similar. Last week, I made a short squeeze list for penny boys, also with some OTC stocks and some really cheap things, and we had some really big numbers. And it's something like this, where I'm looking at that drop off point right here makes that low, and then we have a higher low today, but we're still resistant, so I'm fine. I don't have to buy at 120 because I think that once we get back above 127 here, I think there's good upside potential here to, for example, this level right here, 147. That's the support from here. I'll mark that out. So just playing from level to level here. 147 is a support back here, and that turned into resistance here in the pre-market, and that turned into resistance here on the 5th of September. So above 127, shoot for 147, and if it gets above 147, I think this has some really, really, really nice potential. I like with everything, like you guys, you're in and out, like you say. So I wouldn't be investing in this. Like, do your own
Right.
research.
Right.
But trading wise, absolutely right. But I would wait here. 127 is the level to me
And
to
I
get.
see it. I can see it, especially the way you drew it there. It almost exemplifies a cup and handle right
Yeah.
there where you had your drop, your double low, and you're coming back up. Looks like it's in the handle right now, and
Yeah,
you have got drawn
exactly.
the zippity doo dah.
If you're a little bit more aggressive, right, you could just draw the resistance line of your handle the way that you're saying it, and it wouldn't be wrong to get in on the break of that. I like that 127 to be broken. I think from there we can really see a squeeze, and I'm like a little bit more patient in that. But yeah, um that's kind of the level that I would be giving. One thing here, also the same thing with volume. We had a lot of volume here 2 days ago on the 5th of September. We already had a squeeze. We got sold off, so there's definitely interest to sell it. And then we have not kind of moistured up enough volume to try again. But that could very well come in the next coming days. So definitely this is going on my watch list. And thanks for the suggestion. Whoever suggested this, thank you very much.
Yeah, who did that? Let's see here.
This is
Uh,
my favorite one so far from all the things that we've looked at. I kind of like this a lot. I've seen this before.
Oh, liquor. Right. That was from Daniel Werneth. Thank you, Daniel. That's what I'm talking about. We
Yeah.
love to look at stocks you bring us, but we're looking for hot stocks too. I'm always looking for you. This is a chance for you to pay me back. Bring us some hot stocks. In case
Literally.
you haven't noticed, most of our charters are not penny stock traders. These people coming from penny boys mostly, they trade the major exchange penny stocks, but not the OTC, not so much because there's a lot of danger Will Robinson down here, but they've got a lot of experience trading, and the charts down here can be wicked. As you've seen, when they come looking at our charts, it's like, wow, that's crazy. Never seen it before. So I'm glad that you saw that and pointed it out to us, Jay. I see it too now that you pointed it out to me. All
Nice.
right, let's see here. We have got 10 minutes. Let's see what we can get going. We have got Thebes 1. I'm thinking of saying it right. I always wanted to say the best. All right, this is CRDV. I am still over here. Now let's see if you can see me here. Oh, we got to bounce me back, right? And I got to find my page right there. Can you see me now? Is it slow?
We can see you.
There you go. All right. Thank God I got another window open. It's delayed. All right. We are looking at CRDV community redevelopment on the pink tier. Warning. We have a transfer agent verified, but we don't have a verified profile. Not a deal breaker for a day trade, but for a long hold, you really do want to get that information verified. And it is the OTC markets here that's doing it, an unbiased third party. I can't tell you exactly what all the information is, but it is important. They finished today at just over 2 cents with a big drop, 57%. So that means they were up at, see, it sounds like a lot, but I mean, they're probably under 4 cents. Actually, they dropped 2.8 cents. So they were just under 5 cents. So let's start off here with the relative volume for the company. Dropped about 50% there too. From under the radar numbers, 6.1 thousand shares a day for the last 30 days, down to 3.3 thousand shares. Not a lot of attention. CRDV, well, the insiders seem to think a lot about this company. 75 million, not a bad outstanding share count, and the insiders own 62 million of them. That's a lot, considering that only leaves us with 12 million, 13 million. Not a bad float after all. They just started making money. Did they continue into the quarter? 93,000. Yeah, but they're not going anywhere with it. That's $6,000 that they got right there. And they are due for a quarterly report right now. Now, maybe it's come in if we look over here. If not, they're on the verge of being delinquent, being late. This one, no, that's 2020. Yes, right there, 825 for the period of June. So you can see what period it was filed for. This just isn't on the board yet. So you can jump inside there and you can get the digits for what's going on right now. And that's all the filings they've really had for a long time. And you can see they have a habit of filing late. NT10Q means I'm not filing my 10 quarterly report on time. They file this, it gives them 5 days. They were late. This was on the 14th. It took them 10 days to get to the 25th before they filed it. They were in hot water. So they've got a habit of falling out of what they're supposed to do. Let's see what else we can learn here. Disclosures. Did we already check this out over here? Yeah, we did. So that's about what's going on here. Wait a minute. The news. That's right. All right. Is this current news? Make sure you're always looking at current news. It can be years old and you think it's hot. So we are looking here. Community Redevelopment announced the acquisition of rental condominium building in Washington, D.C. through its subsidiary, Artistory. Redevelopment announced launch of Artistory and the acquisition of first 2 properties in Washington. I'm not quite sure what this company does. That was a thing we overlooked, huh? Community is a publicly traded real estate growth company focused on creating housing for all, with an emphasis on naturally occurring affordable housing. NOAA. All right, that's interesting. Sounds like it's worth some more looking at. Housing is something people can always use. Housing markets, it's crazy right now because the interest rates are all changing. So that's what's going on right now, and it doesn't look like investors are very happy with the company at all. Let's take a look at the chart for CRDV, Community Redevelopment.
Let's pull it up here. I was checking this while you were doing the fundamental analysis. Just looking at this on a daily time frame, right? The way that these candlesticks are, like, personally, I'm not a big fan of this. I zoomed out on the weekly. You could make the point that where are we? We're basically back where we were in 2017, in 2016, and 2015. So technically, had you bought that, you definitely got at some point an opportunity to sell for a lot of gains. But the problem is, back then you couldn't really know when that was going to happen, and would you really hold it from 2014 all the way to 2019? So that was about 5 years, or at least years and years of stagnation at these prices before then the initial run up. So how long are we going to spend here again? I'm not sure. Looking at this on a daily time frame, like some charts that we went over today, they genuinely look to me like there's something in that, like it's playable. This to me looks difficult to play at the very least. It looks to me like we had some resistance here at 10 cents, immediately sold off, and we're back at 5. So unless you can get above 10 cents, I don't see the squeeze happening until you get above 10 cents, to be honest. I was looking at it on a weekly time frame as well with my 20 and my 50 EMA. We are above this 20 EMA, but really we want to see a little bit more confidence that this is really going. So
yeah, it doesn't look good. I mean, it's in a breakout position, but the volume isn't showing that it wants to push up. It just keeps hitting its head and falling deeper.
And also, like on this weekly here on the end of June, like there's a lot of volume. There's relatively way more volume than the weeks before, but the candle is not going anywhere. So what is happening there? Just bots selling to each other, buying and selling the exact same amount to make it seem like there's some interest, but actually there's none. I think, personally speaking, that we've went over some better gems here this hour that we can take a look at to play. But maybe what I would do with this is potentially place an order there to break out trade this once it gets above 11 cents, assuming that if it hits 11 cents, it might just really go way higher. And then I'm in for that. But I don't really want to buy this here. I don't see the way up really yet. Like it's difficult here. You could start drawing trend lines maybe on a like for example this one here, but I think all of these trend line drawings on this particular stock is kind of like making some hopium. Like we're at this resistance, right? We're technically we're at the resistance of this trend line. If we break above it, you could expect a bigger move, but doesn't seem too convincing and trustworthy here for me. Well,
All right, I got to cut you short, Jay, because we've only got a couple minutes, and I'm not
yeah,
going to get to all the stocks you wanted here, folks. I did want to share them, but we got a couple minutes, and I do want to touch on to a couple things here that we don't get to talk often. First off, cannabis. I'm going to bring this down here. I haven't got it up anymore. I'm just going to bring us up. Stop sharing. There you go. We don't look that bad. So the DEA last week announced, well, they didn't announce squat diddly. The HHS, the Health and Human Service, asked the DEA to reschedule cannabis. Cannabis has started running last week. Mostly your Canadian companies, the American companies aren't doing anything much yet. When this does happen, if it happens, because this isn't a vote, there's no bureaucracy, no red tape. DEA gets the final say. When it's done, it's done. The big deal about this, well, we got cannabis moving around the country. It can cross interstate borders, export to other countries. We can bring their stuff in. We are doing business with the world and each other the right way. More importantly, they get banking, not just the loans, which is cool for them. They get tax deductions. They get none right now. Tax deductions are going to include increase that profit margin hugely. Even if they don't get any more revenues, just getting the deductions is going to change their bottom line in a huge way. So there's a lot of potential here. When it's going to happen, don't know. Market's fizzling a little right now. Everyone's saying, what's going on? Come on. In this market, it's catalyst fed with us. You know how that goes, but you need to position yourself because if this comes through, there are literally 1,000 cannabis stocks on the market. If all these stocks, and most of them are on the OTC, if they start running because this changes, there are 12,500 stocks on the OTC market. If 800 of them, and I'm telling you right now, we're lucky if we have 20 a day running on the OTC. If 500, 800 stocks start running, that could be a prime kick. We need something down here. We need some life to come in. That could help us out a lot. There was something else. Oh, yes, High Times. I don't know how many of you are related to this at all. High Times meant to go public. You know who High Times is, right? Jay, you've heard of High Times?
actually, I haven't.
The marijuana magazine that was out for decades, Amsterdam, America, talking about marijuana. It's been around since the 70s.
Does ring a bell, the name, but I have never really touched or seen it myself. But I'm into the subject myself.
The magazine kind of died away, and the brand got sold to a couple of greedy SOBs who meant to take the public company, built it up, have sold parts of it off, are making millions of dollars. Well, they took pre-IPO crowdfunding money, me included, thousands of my dollars they've been holding for quite a few years. Well, today, the company LSDI, I can't remember the name of the company, on the market has just bought 50-year rights to the license to High Times. It includes all their IP, their stores, blah, 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 blah. All the people that pre-IPO'd finally are going to get their shares. We haven't gotten anything, nothing, not even a God-blessed letter from the company. And LSDI said, we are now going to get shares in their company for the representation of investing in High Times. So for those of you who didn't know, High Times is going public through LSDI. It's just a silent going public. I'm sad by it because when it was going public, as far as I'm concerned, millions and millions and millions of people know about High Times. Just the brand name of saying we're going public should have had this thing running stupid. But if they come in under some other company's name as a subsidiary, I don't think it's going to do the same thing. In either case, at least I'm going to get my thousands of dollars back in something. Thank God for that. Jay, you got anything you want to toss out to our viewers before we sign off?
Well, thanks for hanging in here, and thanks for giving us all these different stock recommendations. It's really very refreshing for me to look at these things. I very much see the potential, and I understand why you guys are into these OTC stocks. Like, just make sure not to backhold these things, and if the position is running against you, it's fine to get out. Just be very safe with this, because yeah, all of these charts can go way lower.
One more question, Jay, because I know I'm curious. What nationality is that accent?
That's Belgian.
Belgian. I'd have never guessed that one. Wouldn't have been in my top 10. I don't even know if I'm familiar with it. It sounds a little bit, well, definitely it's European. It's kind of like a French English sort of mix.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
I've never heard.
If that offended you, my sincere apologies.
Absolutely not, man. You can't offend me. I very much appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, thanks for being here. Like I said, seeing somebody else charting, to me, well, I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. It's very informative. I learn a lot of techniques. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you stepping in at the last minute. I know it was asking a lot of you. So thanks, pal. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Folks, my pleasure. See you, everybody.
He is another example of the sort of people we have over at Penny Boys. We've got some professionals over there. They do trade blue chip stocks. They trade cryptos. They trade tokens. They trade everything. Our OTC section, that's supposed to be up to me. And we've pretty much been hanging out here. But we invite you in. If you want to see what's going on and see live videos, chat with people, we have classes. You can learn stuff. These people are there for us. So I do invite you. I know I don't ask you often enough, but I invite you to come. There is a link down below. Click it and come on in. We'll be glad to share all we got with you. Thank you, Jay. I am presuming that Taylor will be done with her honeymoon next week. I think that's enough time. And, well, if I need you again, I may knock on your door.
You're always welcome, man. Thank you very much again for having me. And it's a great pleasure. See you, everybody. And I'll be jumping in a new stream here with Duck. So in the Penny Boys Discord, you can all come join us there if you want some more of us.
What the Duck? Right. It's another guy over there.
Yeah.
See you, folks. Thanks for hanging with us.